Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Hope you're having a great Monday. We're excited. We're finishing our conversation with the wonderful ladies' first Chit Chat crew. They are a group of women who got together during the pandemic to kind of cope. And now it's like a worldwide thing. Men and women are joining and just helping each other share and grow. And it's a wonderful conversation. We'll learn more about them tonight. Now, Nayyir, as you know, he's been away for a while, but he'll be back in March. But we have the wonderful Cleopatra Wise joined us. Thank you for filling in.
Hello.
And jealous Adam, he is traveling abroad with his wife. So me and Chike gonna hold down movie reviews later on in the show. But one reminder all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephennightshow.com, where you can get your merch. It's one of our sweatshirts. Or learn more about us. It's also President's Day today, so shout out to all the good presidents that we've had. And thank God that the last one's no longer in office. But our Black History Person of the Month. So in November 6, 1901, Juanita Hall, an American musical theater and film actress, was born in Keyport, New Jersey, to an African-American father and an Irish mother. Raised by her maternal grandparents, she attended Juilliard School of Music. Her career was in singing and choir directing. She directed the Works Progress Administration Chorus. She also directed the Winchester Choral and Dramatics Association. In early 1940s, she led the Juanita Hall Choir, which performed on radio in 1949, the Juanita Hall Chorus performed in the film Miracle in Heaven. She passed away in 1967 at the age of 66, but she accomplished a lot. She was on television appearances such as the Ed Sullivan Show, the Coca-Cola Hour, and the Perry Como Show. But to find out more, go to our Instagram, Stephen Knight Show, and find out more about this great woman in Black History Month, as well as other people we've acknowledged over the past month. All right, y'all ready to get into hot topics? Everybody doing good?
Yeah.
I'm feeling the hair, Lynia.
This is one of my audition wigs. Her name is Vanessa.
I like it. Well, here's our question of the day. What's the best way to let your current barber or hairstylist know you're switching to someone else? Now, is it all right to just ghost them, or do you let them know? We'll start with you, Lynia.
I mean, previously, when I wasn't feeling somebody, I would just bounce.
Yeah.
But depending on who it is, like right now, Naima would probably kill me. She would, dump my body somewhere and not, nobody can find me. So I can't go nowhere.
Right. What about you, Cleopatra?
So I'm sad to say I am a 100% a ghoster. If I don't like you, I'm gonna ghost you. I'll tell you like, hey, you're pulling my hair. I don't like that. Hey, you're a little too rough. I don't like that. Please stop this. But if you continue, I'm like, yeah, I'm ghosting. And you're just never gonna hear from me. Then I'm like, what happened with Cleopatra? She gone.
Right. What about you, Chike?
So I have this formula where I have maybe 3 barbers at one time. And so if I'm not feeling one, I'll give you a break for a few months and I'll go see another. And then if I'm not feeling that one, I'll go to the third one. And then I'll make my way back to the initial one. Because I'm very particular. And when you can find somebody that cuts your head, especially with us dudes, there's a very good episode of Atlanta about a barber. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious, but it's so true. When we find a barber, we basically want to get married because it's very, very hard to find somebody to cut your hair the way that you want them to cut it. And it's so heartbreaking when you have to leave, especially when they do something egregious and you just have to go. So what I normally, this is my tactic. When I go to a barbershop, I figure out who my barber is going to be. Then after they're cutting my hair for a while, I'm like, hey, look. When you go away on vacation, who do you recommend in here that can cut my hair? And then that would be the next person that I go to once this barber messes up. That's how I do it.
Yeah, I think that's the crazy thing. Like I'm a ghoster too. And the sad thing is I've had to ghost the barber and went to another barber in the same shop, which is horrible. So Two quick stories. The last barber I was going to for a minute, that was my boy. Like our birthdays were a day apart. Like his birthday's day after mine. And he was cool. And we had good conversation. And then I just happened to go to the barbershop with my best friend because he was gonna get a lineup real quick while we were going to head out somewhere. And I said, well, I might as well get me a lineup too, My barber never saw me again. I went to this Dominican dude, he changed my life. And the sad thing was my barber followed me on Instagram and I would see him looking at my stories. I felt bad. But so the Dominican shop I went to, the barber that changed my life, he did his thing, but he was always gone. Every time I would go, he was always gone. So I started going to this other dude. And so the thing was, they never were there at the same time. And then one day I pulled up and both were in there. I was like, but I had to go with my boy. I had to go with the new one because he was consistent and he was on point. So they said, most people just ghost, what I mean?
Yeah. But I'm public with mine because of social media. Like you can't really hide. If you following your barber on social media, you can't really hide. They know when you do for a haircut. So I'm public. When I go to a new barber shop or I'm seeing my other barber, I'll put it up. I'm cheating on my barber. It's known. Like they know it from me now.
Yeah.
I think part of the time with that also, if you're really just like in the beginning stages of going to someone,
right,
it's easier to do.
Yeah.
And that only if that person is really into you as a client too, will they even notice.
Yeah.
I know I've got my hair done by different people and I'm like, I ain't going back to this heifer.
Yeah.
She getting no more of my money. She don't care. She don't already got my money. So that's just,
I had one barber.
I want to bring up this really, it's a good point. And it kind of attests to why people sometimes ghost. If I'm coming to you on a bi-weekly basis, pretty regular, and you're getting my money, and you do something after knowing me for a while, and I'm your client, and you do something like not schedule me when I'm supposed to be scheduled, and I have a schedule, or when I have to wait extra long for hours and hours and hours, and I don't like waiting hours and hours and hours because we have a relationship, and I do that too many times, I find that to be disrespectful because we have a relationship at this point. I tip you well, you do me great service.
Yeah.
If that service doesn't come the same way, I got to go, and you don't get a warning about that.
Exactly. I had one barber, he used to talk to everyone in the shop. It took him forever to cut my hair. I stopped going to him. Then I had this one guy. I wonder why he didn't show me the mirror like he usually did. And I got back to that car. I saw that hairline was crooked. I said, he got fired too. But anyway, tweet us at home and let us know what's the best way to let your current barber or hairstylist know that you're switching to someone else. Steve and I show SHO. All right, let's get into these hot topics. So we reported recently that Chris Brown was he was dealing with an investigation about assault allegations at a party that on a yacht that was docked near Diddy's home December 30th, 2020. And Chris took to Instagram and he said that it wasn't true. And he said, he made reference to every time he's about to release new music, here come these allegations. Well, a second person, another woman, has come out that was there that night, and she is claiming the same. So according to the reports obtained by NBC6, the Miami Beach police are investigating assault allegations made by a second woman who claims she was involved in the 2020 incident, with Chris Brown. Like I say, if you recall, reported recently that the first initial woman filed a lawsuit last month after she claimed she was drugged and raped by the singer while at a party on a yacht that was docked again near Diddy's home. Police reports obtained Wednesday showed that the second victim was at the same party, but decided to leave because she was not comfortable. The report continued, stating 2 days later, the same woman, along with a friend, was invited to meet at Chris's Miami Beach hotel suite when he approached her and allegedly shoved one of his fingers in her mouth, which had a white powdery substance on it. The woman said that after that, she blacked out for several hours and woke up in the suite without her friends or her cell phone. Following incident, the woman filed a report with Miami Beach police after learning about the lawsuit filed in January by the initial woman at the same party she left. Now, her attorney, Ariel Mitchell, represents both women. And the student spoke to NBC 6 on her client's behalf and said, unfortunately, we live in a world where time and time again, from Harvey Weinstein to Jeffrey Epstein to R. Kelly, we've seen these things happen. Now, Chris has not spoken out since this second accusation. Let's start with you, Cleopatra. Do you think in these kind of situations when the numbers start to increase that there's more validity to the stories?
I mean, you never know, right? And I think that's the point of doing an actual investigation. But the main result is when that whole thing happened with Rihanna and he beat her almost to death, he should have went to jail. And that didn't happen. And so now the result of that is even after they do an investigation, if he gets found guilty, will he go to jail? Will they just give him a slap on the wrist? That doesn't prevent any of these actions to happen. And that's, to me, my take on the whole situation, is that it's not enough just to do an investigation. It doesn't matter. Treat him like he's regular Joe Schmo on the street who beat up a woman. That person would be going to jail if they did that crime.
Chike, what are your thoughts?
You said Chike or Lynia? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear you. Did you say Chike or Lynia?
Chike, I'm sorry.
Cleopatra brought up a good point going back to the whole Rihanna thing. Career-wise, I think Chris Brown went through hell back then. His money got shut down in a major way. I cannot understand for the life of me, and it's not just him. It's any of these gentlemen that are in this industry that have memes and that, you know, are out there. Why would you put yourself in situations that could possibly turn into something else? I'm not saying that you're guilty. I'm not saying that you're innocent. But when you have some blemishes on your record already, things that look askew, why would you put yourself in questionable situations for there to be misconstruction about anything that you're doing? That whole atmosphere of yacht parties, like, you should have had enough of that. Anything that you touch, you already know that you got a record coming out and things are going to happen because you said it. Every time I do this, this is what happens. Lay low, sit still, don't do anything. Stop putting yourself in compromising situations. Maybe you won't get these type of things that happen. And I don't want to get into saying, not believing women when they say stuff. We all know that there are groupies out here, and groupies do certain things to be in certain situations for a purpose. That does happen. Because we all know that that's a real thing, why put yourself in situations where that could be your reality, especially when you have so much to lose?
That's true. Lynia?
I said this before, and this is to what Chike just said. There is a core group of women, and their main goal is clout and money. And that core group of women messes it up for real sexual assault victims. I don't know if this is true. I'm not instantly jumping on to say that it is, because what happens is with Black men, especially when they're in this position, and like I said before, as soon as they come out, they start coming out with something, here comes something else. Him with Trey Songz, and if I'm correct, that same issue with Trey Songz happened in Miami too. It's like they're young, they got money, they're partying, and for some reason, there's an entity that wants to keep them in check. I don't care what nobody says. Like I said, I don't know whether or not it's true, but that whole, you got to instantly believe someone when they say that. I don't agree with that, and I'm a woman. Because you know the flip side of that with these groupies. There was a video. LeBron James was leaving somewhere, minding his own business. He leaving out of where he was. 2 heifers is chasing after him. He went down the escalator the wrong way, so they wouldn't be able to get to him. They on heels, right behind him. It's women like that. So I'm not instantly going to crucify that man, and I'm not going to touch on the Rihanna situation because I have a different perspective on that. But is too coincidental for me. And even though there is someone else, if you was uncomfortable, why you put yourself in that situation to be somewhere and you was uncomfortable already? That don't make sense to me. So yeah, an investigation needs to be done. I completely agree with that. Whatever comes out, comes out. But I'm not instantly saying, oh yeah, he did it. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I did want that because she left the one party because she wasn't comfortable. Then she went back to another event, at his hotel, but
You just let somebody stuff something in your mouth.
right, exactly. All right, well, the Tinder Swindler. I had to watch this for myself last week. This guy, he met women on the dating app Tinder, and he would show them this elaborate lifestyle, private jets, wine and dining them, the best, clubs, and just showed them this. Like the girl was surprised. Wow, this man really is into me. And then after he would build their trust, he would tell them that he had some enemies that were after him and that he could no longer use his credit card because it'd be traced back to him. Do you mind sending me some money? And I'll give it right back to you. And he was able to get away with hundreds of thousands of using women, and not just romantically. One, they met on Tinder, and she noticed that he was shorter than she usually likes. And so, but she said she enjoyed this conversation. And towards the end, he tried to make a move on a kiss or something. They both kind of just laughed, and they became friends. But he got her too, with the story. But the women ended up getting together, and you have to watch it. But anyway, he was arrested he would spend 5 months in jail, but it was not related to the women behind this documentary or that were involved in this documentary. It was from another charge. But now he's a free man. And it looks like he's trying to land a dating show in Hollywood. So they said the words of Trina, the Tinder Swindler, is single again and back on the prowl. But his name is Simon Levy, I believe. The man at the center of one of the most popular documentaries this year. He assigned a celebrity agent, Gina Rodriguez. She represents several famous reality television stars, including TLC's Mama June. And he hopes to leave his mark in Hollywood by launching his own dating show. So the show is kind of like a Flavor of Love kind of situation. But if that doesn't work out, he's thinking about doing a podcast where he gives dating advice for singles. Now, when he would the Tinder Swindler, he had a fake. He said he was a diamond mogul. That's where his money came from, but obviously that wasn't true. Do you think, Chike, I'll start with you. Do you think that this may be successful because we seem to love craziness on TV?
Yeah, I think it will be successful because on some real, I'm looking at his situation. He obviously had some game. Obviously, he was able to reel him in. He was able to sucker him in. He was able to get the dividends. So he knows something.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it would be good business, even if it's just people tuning in just to see what his antics are.
I mean, he tried to get one woman to sell her home to get him money.
But there was another guy. I think I reviewed a movie about this. Well, it wasn't a movie, it was a series. There's another guy, but he would marry them. So all of their assets would become his, and then he would get gone. So he married like 6 women and then vanished, but he had access to all of their assets.
Lynia, do you think this will be a popular thing if it drops?
Popular nonsense. I mean, that people are into it. I haven't watched it. I've seen people, chat about it online, which I'm going to take a look at it. And from my understanding, all of the victims were of persuasion.
Yes.
So there were no women of color on that documentary. No. But I want to take a look at it because this is hilarious. Like, how do you, in this day and age, when you can do all kinds of background checks on people, how do you fork over? Like, and he wasn't even really laying down no pipe. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's just talking. So I'm trying to figure out What could you have possibly said to these women of this persuasion to convince them to give up their money? Like, and I think he like hit the millions
Oh yeah, that's
in
how much
money.
he made altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, what you say, Shorty? Because I want to know.
This one girl took out loans for him. I mean, because what he would do is he would try to make them seem, of course, the story makes sense because he has so much money. I mean, he's flown me here, we've flown there. You know, we've gone, I've seen him buy up the restaurant. One woman said, I don't think the food ever stopped coming. And so he would show them this extravagant lifestyle. And he would send pictures of, because he had a security guard, him beat up, the enemy attacked them. Thank God I'm safe. I mean, he
so imagine that coupled up with someone's severe depression and loneliness, and the two meet. Yeah, I can see that happening.
But the thing is, the women they do have a GoFundMe to get their money back, but so when it happened, the women were getting, like, once the report came out, you know, the women were being victim shamed, as they said, calling them gold diggers that went wrong. And they're like, well, for gold diggers, why are we giving up money?
No, because you thought that man had money. You thought he was of a certain stature. And don't try to go in like you was a victim. You went in, oh, he got money. He want me. We going to do all kinds of lavish. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Cleopatra, what's your thoughts on all this?
It'll definitely be popular. I watched the whole documentary and I was like, this is absolutely crazy. And I can see how he did it because he did portray this image of someone who was very wealthy.
That's
and
how
then
social media was, yeah.
He's a predator, so predators can always find good prey. And those women believed him. And then he made these like emergency situations that had them in the tailspin. Yeah. And none of the stuff added up. I was like, yeah, you don't need to, like, if you have money, why do you need my cash? Like, that doesn't make sense. You would ask someone who has real money because none of those women had any real money. If you're a billionaire, you would ask somebody who's a billionaire for money. Why are you asking me for money? Don't you have friends? Right. But that's my mindset.
Well, I'm
thinking about like the prequel. I want to know what his game was like before he perfected it, like the early years. Like when he out and it was
from the pictures, he was a chunky guy.
Now, maybe you should talk to Netflix about that. But it's going to be so popular. I just know.
But what he would do would take, like, say, Lynia, if you sent me money, I'm just going to Cleopatra. That's what he had all these women sending him money that he was doing private jets with this one and that one.
Yeah, he's spending their money on another broad.
On another girl, yeah.
But I mean, again, Cleopatra said it. You a billionaire, millionaire. Why are you asking me for money? That's an alarm that's gonna go off in. Why are you asking me for money? You the one with the money.
But when he told the girl to sell her house, but my thing is, okay, say you wanted to help your friend out, or in this case, her boyfriend, whatever. She gave him the first amount of money. It was always an excuse why he hadn't paid her back yet. Why are you still pulling out loans for this guy if he hadn't paid you the first loan? You know what I mean?
I don't know. She thought she was in love.
She did think
this wasn't no chump change though, Stephen. Like,
nope.
That's like me. I love Chike to death. I ain't got no money. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give Chike $1,000. I ain't got $150,000 give Chike because I ain't got $150.
But then he tried to give one of the ladies, his friend, a watch that she could pay off the debt, that he owed. And so the watch ended up being fake.
I'm about to start. Y'all gonna make me
You
start.
Have to watch it. You have to watch it.
It's good. It's good. I just couldn't believe. I'm thinking, would I be that gullible? No, I couldn't. But anyway. All right. Well, we'll take a quick commercial break. Find out what Dave Chappelle has coming up on Netflix. Plus, Wendy Williams, her show is coming to an end, and Sherry Shepherd is going to take over the new show in the fall. More will come back right back after this.